Mike and Matt. Today I have a special guest, Luke Mukuda. Luke, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Matt.
Luke is our golf course superintendent here at the Meadowlangston Golf Academy and at the Mill Course. So he is an expert in turf care. So we thought we'd have him on today to talk a little bit about some of the behind the scenes things that take place as we come out of the winter and prepare the golf facilities for spring, and also maybe give you a little insight into some things you can do in your own yard to help ensure that it's beautiful, lush, and green as we go into the spring and through the summer. So Luke, just tell us a little bit about how you got into the golf business.
Sure, Matt. Well, I graduated from Xavier University and studied environmental science while I was there, and found myself working for the Park District and decided to pursue full-time employment with the golf department, and achieved a pesticide license and the necessary education requirements to eventually become full-time working at several of our golf courses.
Okay, good. So obviously, as we are transitioning from the winter season into spring, we've got lots of changes, both with temperatures, ground temperatures, soil conditions. So can you tell us what a couple of the most important things and a couple of the most important functions that you and your staff perform in order to prepare the golf courses for play as we go into this nicer weather?
Sure, Matt. Well, when we transition from the winter into the spring, one of the most important things that we do on the course is make sure that we are ready to get out and start mowing and using all of our equipment. So it takes time to go around the course and make sure that we collect debris, sticks, and limbs that might be down that might interfere with any of our mowing. And in addition, we are preparing for the emergence of lots of weeds and other pests that will erupt on the golf course come spring growing season. So in order to combat that, we apply a pre-emergent product this time of year, and to effectively use that product, we have to monitor soil temperatures, which lets us know when the effective timing of that product is going to be.
Okay. I know at home when I'm cutting my own yard, it's pretty obvious when it gets to a certain level I need to cut it, and you typically don't want to do that before it gets too warm, but are there any guidelines you do, or when do we start kind of mowing greens and things for the season? Do we do some of that even in the wintertime?
Yeah, we will mow a few times throughout the winter, but obviously not as frequently as we do during the growing season. Whenever we mow, the main thing we focus on is not removing more than 1/3 of the leaf blade at a time. So certain areas are going to receive more frequent mowings than others. For instance, a green, in order to maintain the proper height, will require mowing almost 5 to 6 times a week. And the rough, we can probably get away with only mowing that 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay. So you had mentioned earlier about the importance of soil temperatures, and I know overnight temperatures plays a big role in some chemical applications and things. What are some guidelines that you use in order to let you know when we should be applying some certain chemicals on the golf course and things like that?
Well, we typically look for soil temperatures to reach about 55 degrees or higher on a consistent basis is when we decide when we're going to apply our pre-emergent for crabgrass and goosegrass and other weeds. It's about that temperature in the soil when things really start to take off in the spring.
Okay, good. Those of you that are pretty familiar with our golf course, you know that we've been undertaking a huge project over the last several years in converting our fairways from a bentgrass fairway to a zoysia grass fairway. And we've done that because it has a lot of environmental benefits, but it also has some playability benefits as well. And Luke is here. He's just going to tell us a little bit about some of the benefits that we have of converting from that bentgrass to zoysia.
Sure, man. The zoysia gives us a beautiful playing surface for one, but in addition to that, it's much more low maintenance than the bent grass that we previously had. For one, we don't need to irrigate it nearly as frequently, and the other main benefit to it is we don't need to apply our fungicides nearly as frequently as we would with the creeping bent grass fairways that we have across the street at the Mill Course.
So that would certainly reduce the amount of chemical runoff and things like that.
Absolutely.
Into our watershed. So lastly today, Luke, as our viewers are spending a little bit more time at home, and maybe looking out their backyards and noticing a couple bare spots in their lawn here and there, what are some things that they can be doing, some actions they can be taking right now to help ensure that as we go through the next see this weather continue to improve, that they'll have beautiful lawns here for the next several months.
Well, now that we've entered into the growing season, this time of year is a very good time to begin overseeding or planting seed on any bare areas you might have in your lawn. What's important though is prior to overseeding your lawn, that you make sure that your soil isn't too compacted. So aeration is a useful practice that will aid in getting more germination from the seed that you plant. But in addition, it's very important that you irrigate at the right time after you've planted that seed. I often say that it's not important for the seed to receive water necessarily, it's important that the seed receives water when it needs it. So as that plant is developing and as you see germination, be sure that you are maintaining a frequent irrigation schedule, whether that be manual or automatic, until you notice that the plant has established itself as a mature stand of grass.
Okay. All right, well, thanks for being here today, Luke. Appreciate all the insight that you've given us, some of the behind the scenes and some things people can do at home. If you have any questions regarding our golf course maintenance procedures or have any questions about how you can help beautify your own personal lawn in the back, Luke will be happy to answer those questions. Just write us a comment or a question below and we'll get back to you. Thank you.